Hello everyone, this is Ezekiel doing part 4 of the after action report, the 12,000 point monster, between Stratzwitz as the Americans and Dutch Grenadier as the Germans. So we're up to about 15 minutes or so into the actual battle, and action is about to really heat up. We'll start up on the left flank of the Germans here. Lots of anti-tank fire is about to ensure. I want you to keep an eye on this mob of half-tracks. I think some of you may be able to guess what's about to happen. So we saw at the end of the last video, Dutch do a very big, there we go, that's the first one. Dutch did a very big move across. He's reinforcing the central area and not giving up this flank, but definitely weakening it. So one shell took out 2 half-tracks in the first shot. Quite a few casualties. And I think there goes the other one. So very quickly, I think that's from the M10s at the back, we'll find out. Ouch. We'll find out when we switch to Stratzwitz and look at this turn from the Americans' point of view, as always. So bit of a smoke screen forming here. I think that's a pre-planned bombardment by Stratzwitz, but I'm not too sure why that's a smoke screen. May have expected some type of line of tanks maybe or something, I'm not too sure. And there's this redeployment going on. Unfortunately for this company, one of their platoons didn't make it. In the centre of the La Big Net, this objective's where all the real heavy action's been occurring so far. Still some incoming mortar fire from the Germans. Not too heavy, but definitely enough to keep your heads down and double check any plans you may have. But once again, still no movement there from the Americans at least. While that's occurring, there's a few more blows being traded between the infantry in these trees and the Germans holding the objective. So basically, yeah, I mean, we know there's a lot of American infantry back here. I'm sure Dutch Grenadier suspects that as well, but he's still holding this objective pretty tightly. And on the right flank, this third objective, no one's really gone for it at all. We do have a squad in here, sitting still just overwatching down this main road. But I think if both players knew that no one was really going for it, I think they'd be trying to get some troops into there. And that right flank remains very, very vacant. So anyway, we'll switch now over to Stratzwitz and the Americans. Okay, we're back with Stratzwitz's turn. We'll find out who fired off those shells that took out with 1 shell and 2 half-tracks. I think it was a Sherman actually. No, I was wrong. Double check that, I think it's the M10. I'm not too sure. Yeah, okay, yep, I think it's this M10 here. Still aiming for something, so yep. Oh, ouch. Looks like this M10 had a shot at something, but took out the platoon leader of all people. So as we see here, Stratzwitz is moving up all this infantry. So he's got a good, what would that be, a full company at least. Yeah, definitely a full company. And that's not including the platoon 4, the support elements. He's moving a full rifle company up here. Completely hold this flank. That could actually turn very dangerous. Yes, there is Tigers here, but he'll always have plenty of eyes spotting them while he moves his M10s into position. I think that's what he's planning. And infantry themselves can, of course, hide and conceal themselves quite well. So I'll have to keep an eye on that. Meanwhile here, just double check some of those mortar rounds. don't think they're going to cause too much damage. Everyone's either covered up in buildings or hanging back. And you're going to be very unlucky to lose a Sherman to a mortar round. It is possible, I've seen it happen, it does happen, but that was awfully close. But this isn't the modern warfare, this isn't laser guided rounds. So yeah, looking alright there.
Roger, aborting.
So casualty there. Track loses a gunner. It's not too bad though. Meanwhile over here, all this infantry and all these elements here are all hanging back though. Not too sure. Does Stratsworth actually want to go for a big net? I mean, there is quite a bit of open ground to cover, and he knows that he's got this enormous space to traverse. But the same token, he has still got a lot of support, which he hasn't really employed yet. We heard during that turn the aircraft got called off. I mean, he's got all these mortars, got the howitzers of full complement still. Yep, I'm pretty sure that aircraft was called off. I heard that during the turn. Yep, sure enough. Be allowed another 11 minutes to bring them in, but still got 6 rockets and plenty of 50 cal ammo. So Stratsworth has got the numbers and got the support still. We'll go to the next turn now. Okay, welcome back to the next turn. We're back with Dutch Grenadier and the Germans. This is not a good way to start a turn. Incoming mortar round right on top of these guys' heads. Ouch. So basically, we're just on the centre right flank here, so this is the vacant area over here. There's obviously some mortar has got eyes on this anti-tank gun, and has been laying down some hurt. Not a lot is happening on this flank again, but as you can see in the background, a lot's going on over there. We'll switch to that very soon. But yeah, they're all just holding still for the moment. Just can't see any movement at all from this perspective. There is this one M10. I'm not too sure if that's the one with the damaged gun or not. But Dutch Grenadier is not moving these forces out to try and get behind him. He probably suspects there is, and correctly that is, there's a lot of enemy in here. So he'll continue to hold down that objective. We'll go back to the beginning though and go over to here. The extreme left flank, after those losses of the half tracks back here, we start to lose a few more armoured vehicles. So there goes another support half track. So this line of anti-tank guns mounted on light armour is starting to get very, very thin. Yeah, one vehicle, that one's just gone as well. So those Tigers disappearing, I think Stratsworth is being a bit more adventurous with his M10s. He will, he's going for, he's trying to get these tanks into good firing positions. So only one 50mm gun and one 20mm gun over here. Yeah, they're the only anti-tank weapons, I think. Yep, and 2 machine gun half tracks. So that is now very light. That can probably burst through with a couple of tanks. Can probably mop that all up, actually. So yeah, so the remaining Shermans in here and the M10s get into this flank. They could really clean up well. Where it did actually all sort of change, and this could actually be quite a turning point in my opinion, as it really does weaken this flank. More smoke screen coming down is here. This is the advancing, redeploying company of mechanised infantry heading towards this objective. However, a traffic jam forms, and as you can see, very, very soon, chaos ensues. There we go. One shot again, I think it's from the M10 again, takes out 2 half tracks and most of the crew it's holding. Another half track there goes. Another double kill, so 4 half tracks and 2 shots. So that's now 6 half tracks gone in 2 minutes from the same luck. For Stratsworth, I'll call that. That's just really, really bad luck for Dutch Grenadier. And one of the Tigers also takes a hit, but thick armor protects it. So this whole redeployment is now in complete disarray. And also up here, oh, it's immobilised, but so it's essentially dead. Just go to look. I think that's a bazooka in here somewhere in the trees. Those infantry squads that are forming up. Where is it? Yep, that's a bazooka. So quite lucky not to lose it, in my opinion. Some good news though, he does take out this 76mm Sherman, but this Tiger who does the killing is coming under fire. So there goes that 76mm, but this Sherman here, because there's a target arc, this Tiger is probably not going to react. But this 75mm, this 75mm Sherman is getting front shots onto the Tiger. Probably not going to kill it with a straight hit, but as you know, the Tigers, you could get lucky with the turret and front armour where they join on the hull. So I'm sure Dutch will reassess that for next turn. So not a very good turn for the Germans, very good one for the Americans. We'll see that now from their point of view. Okay, we're off again. So yeah, it looks like it's an M10 back here taking shots at those half-tracks, so that massive gun that it's got is going to easily penetrate that armour. You can see one half-track, two. That's what I'm aiming for. Okay, that's interesting. So there's a shot that took out the first two half-tracks, but by the looks of it, he only knows that he's probably penetrated one half-track. That's just shows how much. He probably knows there's two there. I think that came from over here, actually, from Sherman. So there goes that Sherman 76mm. But with seeing the smoke and the explosions, he's got to have a good indication he's caused some real havoc in that spot. And yeah, all that infantry is continuing to move up. Yeah, that half-track is probably going to be dead very soon. I don't know where the bazooka is coming from. Oh, back there, is it? Oh, it could be there too. Oh, I got an hanging. Yep, it's over here. Because that one's still, I think it's still got full ammo, or very close to full ammo. So just back up slightly. So that's reversing. Well, that's very close. Would have been a probably kill if it hit it. So yeah, I reckon that half-track is in real trouble. In the centre, I think those shells, those mortar rounds are still coming down, but or maybe not. Maybe the mission's already finished. And there's quite a lot of infantry up front here. I think they've snuck forward. So we know the Germans are lined up here and back here. So this is, you'd probably say this is firmly held now by the Americans. I thought I was playing, but it wasn't. There is mortar rounds coming through, sorry about that. It is a Saturday morning when I'm recording this, a little bit tired, so bear with us. Oh, that was close. Let's back that up. Okay, I'm surprised that. Oh, there we go. Yep, that's what I thought. I'd be a very shocked crew myself if I saw that. And yeah, I think that's about it. So the Americans, those mortars are landing behind the town as intended, but unfortunately the Americans are already on the objective area. So it'll be very interesting to see when Stratswitch decides to pull the trigger and just launch an all-out attack. He must know by now that his right flank here is getting awfully weak in the German defences. So he's got to think he's got the initiative on this flank now. And in the centre here, he's also probably still expecting some type of, maybe some German attack into this objective area. Probably he's waiting for that before he decides to counterattack. But we'll have to just wait and see. Okay, the next turn, from the Germans' point of view. And this is the interesting little bit. Stratswitch, sure enough, does decide to advance. He's bringing a lone Sherman 75mm forward, basically being the guinea pig. Got a penetrating hit there. So it looks like, yep, we've got this Tiger's fighting back. This Sherman here is moving very, very quickly. Should be a dead Sherman, I'd imagine. But this Sherman here is having a field day. So it's just testing. If the Sherman dies, you know there's still defences there. If the Sherman doesn't die, probably worthwhile to advancing. And sure enough, the fact he's got this far back without even being shot at, probably a very, very good sign for Stratswitz. I'm guessing he's about to bring all these M10s and all these remaining troops towards this extreme left flank. Backing up a little bit to the start, it all goes a little bit more wrong for Dutch Grenadier, unfortunately. Right off the bat. So another target goes down. That's probably from an M10 back there again. All crew killed as well. And everyone else just scatters out of that kill corridor. Okay, it's a long bazooka shot. Looks like they're going after the Tiger. Yeah, the optics are damaged. You can't see as well, but definitely trying to pick off some of those infantry. You see this Tiger's redeployed again just to shore up this area around here, just in case any guns decide to advance. Once again, not a lot happening here. We do know these half-tracks that remain do get into these places, so at the very least he can get some infantry into these barns, provide some flank security on the side of the town. Won't be a lot though, unfortunately. Meanwhile, we've got some chaos going on over here. Oh, looks like we've got some infantry fighting. Back up again. So there, disembarked. What we got? Mini-Mensch tank gun, platoon leader. Oh, yep, some ammo bearers. So it's probably one of the guns back to the baseline. Putting these guys forward is a bit of a recon party. And the American infantry gladly shoot them down. So in the scheme of things, what was he trying to do there? Probably just trying to test if there's any defences in this tree line on this flank. Sure enough, there is. So at least he knows that now. Meanwhile, the mortar fire from this gun. Maybe he's actually trying to go after see if there's just a mortar tank back there, but obviously there was probably mortars and probably something else. We'll find out very soon. And so we'll switch over to the Americans and watch that again. Okay, here we go on the right flank again. There goes that Tiger in the back there. Not too sure who took the shot. Probably an M10, I would imagine. So that Sherman there, we'll just watch this. This is quite a bit interesting actually. So the Sherman goes by the first shot. The Germans don't know that. Keeps firing into it until it burns. Ouch. So there we go. It's definitely dead now, and it also causes some infantry casualties around it. Flying shrapnel and the like. 2 up there. Ouch. And 1 there. It's really easy. All the crew there and another 3 men. So always be very, very mindful where you place your armour. Obviously, if they do end up being brewed up, there is a very strong risk that nearby infantry, which are as weak as tissue paper, let's face it, like we really are, you know, that you're going to lose them as well. So, very, very careful about unit placement. So those mortars are going to continue coming down the Americans. But the Americans, I think, will gladly take it and say, bring it on. They've got hard cover, or they're outside the fire blast area. So I don't think those mortars by now are really worrying Stratswitch one little bit. Troops on the ground, that's another matter. Over here, those infantry that advanced came straight into a rifle squad. The mortar they're probably trying to go after is this one over here. But unfortunately they just misplaced that. Alright, that's the end of that turn. We'll switch now back to Dutch Grenadier. Okay, we're back again. And the Tigers decide to, the remaining 2 Tigers I should say, decide to move up together. So just to take care of the armour they know that's in this area. Partial penetration causes some damage I think. Actually no damage at all. It was already damaged before the hit, so got a bit lucky there. Immediately this second target spots the 76mm Sherman, starts firing at it. Meanwhile the Sherman back here is still having a bit of a field day. Penetrating hit, not confirmed to be killed, however I think with this 88mm gun, it's probably safe to say it is dead. But we'll find out very soon. Second hit probably takes out the weapon. Okay, so the M10s can probably see a Tiger, maybe? They're firing, but that shot went wide and landed all the way back here somewhere. Yep, there we go. Could actually be going for this truck, to tell you the truth. And let's have a look. I don't think there much happened around La Bignette this turn. The action's still going all on that left flank, or what remains of it. And over here, yep, just think more infantry starting to get mopped up by the Americans. Go down there. One rifleman fight which continues. Last very long at that. So unfortunately the poor commander's the only one remaining from that little adventure. But nothing much else appears to be occurring. So I think this is all going to come down now to whenever Stratswitch decides to launch his attack. Let's just have a quick look at the artillery. We haven't looked at that for a while. The on-map mortars are still not really using their ammunition yet. So 120mm mortars finished within 2 rounds left, so it's effectively out of the game. And he still does, Dutch Grenadier still has his 105mm howitzers. Still a good amount of shells there. and one out of contact 88 gun, which is being used to just overwatch this extreme right flank of his. Okay, we'll switch now to Stratswitz. Okay, back with Stratswitz, and we'll look at that turn from his point of view. The M10s move up, relatively knowing they're relatively safe, and they start getting good eyes on Tigers and the like. Half track takes some damage here. Probably a stray sniper round or something. Meanwhile, a little bit unlucky for Stratswitz, but he does get lucky later in this turn. I'll show that in a second. So he's got the cover arc on to focus on that target. Tiger pulls back. The cover arc itself is outside the second target, which he spots with his tank. So, unfortunately for Stratswitz's Sherman decides to just ignore the target for a little bit until he gets hit. First round doesn't kill him, takes out a crewman and the radio. So he's about to retreat, and the second shot that hit the weapon isn't the main gun, it's only the MG. But, well, looks like he actually did, the crew did bail out of the tank though, so effectively a dead tank there. Now, once again over here, I think there's really no movement, no signs of a setup for a future attack further into the village to clear out the Germans. We did lose something over there, I think. Yep, so we lose another half track. But yeah, no movement at all, by the looks of it. Not 100% what Stratswitz is waiting for. You must know he's got Dutch Grenadier, not on the ropes, but definitely on the back foot. There is some movement here with that M10 moving forward, probably in support or going after those Tigers. I'm guessing those Tigers will have to be brought into the fray now. So there we go. That's another turn down. We'll switch back to Dutch Grenadier before we close off this video. Okay, we're back now next turn with Dutch Grenadier. And the Tigers start pulling back, firing some rounds off. It's a little bit more of a quieter turn, I must admit. We know that Sherman's dismounted, not firing back. However, the Americans don't know that. They see a tank is not burning and must be still alive. We'll get shells racing across the battlefield, left to right. I think that's at the M10, and they're firing a Panzer IV. We'll show that next. This Tiger here spots one of the half tracks behind the La Bignet objective. Good little bit of intel for the Dutch, knowing there's still some light vehicles that survived his mortar barrage. Now, once again, Stratswitz is still holding off from advancing further into that centre objective. This Panzer IV, however, let's go fuel lock. There we go. He knows there's M10s out here. Knows they've probably got a good line of sight into all this area here. Moves the Panzer IV out, and there's no turn order, nothing. I'm not too sure what Dutch was trying to do there. Just exposes his side armour straight to the M10s. We'll see the effect of that in just in a moment. So, lose 2 crew members, not so much some damage. There's a few more shots that come in, cause a bit more damage. The tank is still alive, but seriously undermanned. Ouch. So, there we go. It looks like we've got movement there. Got another Sherman moving across, probably trying to flank a Tiger. So there we go. So once again, not a lot happening. It's all down to whenever Stratswitz decides to attack, and we'll see his turn right now. Okay, here we are with the Americans. We've got M10s, and that's another tank we spotted earlier. Is actually this Sherman here, a 76mm Sherman. So it's advancing across behind the tree line here. Probably to try and get... I'm going to guess it's going to go somewhere in this vicinity to try and get some surprise flank shots onto one of those Tigers. At this stage, even taking out one of those Tigers, trading a Sherman for a Tiger would be pretty good. So yeah, definitely those M10s are firing a lot more shots than I thought they did, looking at the video from Dutch's point of view. Ooh, nothing there. Maybe a stray round or something. Yeah, looks like a stray round again. Fell short into the trees. Okay, and yeah, there's always, every turn or so, there's always someone dying here. It's a real funny one. Maybe that's what's holding Strat's bits up. So he keeps seeing the little flashing little icon saying, "You're losing a troop, you're losing a troop." Maybe that's just holding him back from launching an assault. In this case, though, I mean, that is the open field I mentioned earlier, so that'd be a very, very adventurous attack at this stage. We'll just check his artillery. Denied. It's denied, but they're not already busy, so... just quickly find a... Let's have a look. That's what I'm looking for, a pair of binoculars. Yeah, so he still hasn't called in any artillery support. He's got them available. I mean, if we saw a big artillery barrage or something about to come down there, pre-planned, we'd know the attack was imminent. Same here. But though here, I don't think you're really going to need it. You can probably push on with your tank support once those Tigers are gone. But yeah, La Big Net there. I mean, a very solid artillery barrage there before an infantry assault would probably do the trick. Okay, then one last time we'll switch to Dutch Grenadier for this video. Okay, we're back once again with Dutch Grenadier. The centre La Big Net here, there stays roughly quiet again. Quickly moving some infantry into these barns and that to get some eyes on. Tiger takes a penetrating hit. Unfortunately, well, it doesn't kill it, that's a good thing. But unfortunately, it does damage the tracks. From now on, it's a very slow Tiger. Sure enough, it's that 76mm Sherman we were looking at. It's hard to move in the tree line and get some eyes on. So, it's going to pester that Tiger, I think, until it's dead. Doesn't even get to take out the half track, unfortunately. That's just a truck getting hit. The Panzer IV back here does dismount. So we've got another tank that's sitting out in the open. This one's an interesting one. I'm not too sure what Dutch was trying to do here. I'm suspecting it was... He knows there's two M10s up here. He even sees them just as the turn begins. So he's got a 50mm heavy armoured car. I think he's deciding to just try and get across there and flank them. An M10, yeah, it could definitely hurt it or cause some damage to it. Open top vehicle especially, but it's still incredibly adventurous. Maybe Dutch has given up on this flank and decides to, you know, go out with a bang, so to speak. So there we go. Eyes up an M10, side shot. Takes a hit though in the engine. Completely destroyed. And does get a shot off, but unfortunately it doesn't last that long. So we'll have to see what type of damage that did. A 50mm shot. And we'll do that right now. Okay, here we go. So Strat Switch's final turn for this video. Sherman here is still alive and just absolutely wreaking havoc behind the lines here. And there's one 20mm armoured car that's probably can't really do much else. So all the way during this turn, that heavy armoured car that gets toasted towards the end there does in fact is spotted all the way through the turn, so no real threat whatsoever. Let's see what type of damage it does though. There goes the engine. Whoops. It does get that shot off. It could be interesting where it hits. Okay. Of course she hit the front armour and didn't really do any serious damage. Question is, I think that there was a shot that came from this tank. So we'll back it up. Looking positive. So it eyes off the armoured car, lining up a shot. Guys, he takes out the engine. It's not the M10s at all. Looks like he also gets the kill. So, yeah, that Sherman, that's definitely a stealing of the kill. And over here, let's have a look. Once again, still no movement. I think Stratswitch is very happy just to sit still for the near future. Okay then, well thanks for watching this part of the War Correspondent series. The next part will be up very soon. In the meantime, like, subscribe, share all this with all your friends, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.